Shavasana. Let's take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And take a deep inhale. And exhale, let it all go. And with every inhale and exhale, allowing your body to begin to settle. Allowing your mind to begin to rest. Taking this opportunity to let the day slow down. And taking time to check in with yourself this evening. Noticing how you're feeling. How your body's feeling. Taking a few moments to scan from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Notice if you're carrying any tension anywhere. Breathing into those areas. Letting your breath ease anything that might be tense. Noticing if anything might be sore. Or maybe a little bit tight. Sending your breath to those areas. Letting your breath bring a little bit of relief to anything that might be sore. Soften anything that might be tight. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. And taking note of any thoughts that might be arising. Gently acknowledging them. Letting them continue to pass by. Drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. And take a few moments here to set an intention for the class this evening. Something you wish to receive from your practice. On the next inhale, slowly begin to wiggle your fingers. Gently moving your toes. Then on the next inhale, slowly drawing your knees into your chest. Giving them a nice big hug. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circling your knees in the other direction. Then opening your arms up into a T and gently letting your knees fall to the right side, coming into a twist. Adjusting the knees, whether you draw them closer to your chest or you soften that knee bend. Keeping your left shoulder blade pressed into the mat. You can allow your eyes to fall over that left shoulder. Breathing into any sensations. Letting your body letting your breath soften those areas. Finding a little bit more rest. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, slowly draw those knees back up to center. Gently letting your knees fall to the left side. Keeping your right shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Adjusting your knees, whether you draw them closer to your chest or you soften that knee bend. Letting your body settle into this posture. Your eyes can fall over that right shoulder. Breathing into any sensations. Letting your breath soften those areas. Letting your body relax a little bit more. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly draw those knees up to center. And gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. And maybe you circle your knees in one direction. Circle your knees in the opposite direction. Don't let your knees sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the right side or to the left side, coming into fetal position. Taking a couple breaths here. Take a deep inhale. And a deep exhale. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to press your way up, making your way up into tabletop position. So stacking your hands underneath our shoulders and knees under our hips. And we're gonna move into mounting heart. So keeping those hips on top of those knees, gently walk your hands out. Drawing your chin to the mat. Target areas are shoulders or upper back. The option to always open those hands up a little bit wider to soften, or maybe even you bend if it's a little bit too intense on those shoulders. but breathing into the sensations. With every exhale, allowing those shoulders to release a little bit more. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you walk your fingertips out a little bit further, challenging yourself in this posture. Breathing into those shoulders. Allowing the sensations to soften with your breath. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to walk those hands up. And then pushing back to child's pose. So letting those hips settle on your feet. Bending those elbows, rounding your spine, tucking your chin. Hands can drop to your feet if that's comfortable. And notice how your body feels, how those shoulders are feeling. Allowing them to soften in this posture. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. And then slowly begin to roll up. And then we're going to move into toe squat. So curling those toes under, keeping those knees hip distance apart. And then the option to always, maybe you come back on those fingertips. Or maybe just resting on the fingertips in front of you is enough sensation. But breathing in. Keeping your breath nice and even. Deep inhales. And exhales. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, can you challenge your edge? Can you maybe lean back a little bit more? Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. And then slowly begin to come up, putting your hands in front, releasing the toes and gently tapping them. Noticing the sensations. Then coming into a counter pose, we're going to come into the shin, so sitting on our feet. And then gently, maybe you draw up those knees a little bit. And if you have a block, you can always slide the block underneath those knees. So really trying to stretch out the ankles, a bit of the shins. And again, you could always walk your hands behind you. And to increase the sensations, you could always lift those knees a little bit higher. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you challenge your edge a little bit more? Keeping your breath nice and deep. Nice deep inhales. And exhales. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Slowly releasing out of this posture. Coming onto all fours. Then picking up your ankles and gently circling them in one direction, nice and slow. Feeling the sensations and then rotating them the opposite direction. And then release the feet onto the mats. And then walking those hands out, we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So lowering down to your stomach, drawing your elbows underneath your shoulders. Releasing any tension from your legs. Can you soften those shoulders? Allowing your eyes to close. And sending your breath to the sensations that you might be feeling in your spine. Letting those areas soften with your breath. And taking note if your mind might have wandered or drifted, which it might. Just coming back to your breath. Back to your inhales and your exhales. And then option to stay here in Sphinx pose, or maybe you move into seal. So bringing those hands to the edges of the mat, pressing into the palms of the hands, straightening those elbows. Keeping your breath nice and deep. Sending your breath to any sensations that you might be feeling. And then your option is to stay here, or maybe you walk those hands up a little bit higher, challenging the mobility of your spine, but keeping those hips pressed into the mat. Very nice. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to lower down. Drawing your hands together and letting your forehead rest on the top of your hands. Letting your spine settle. Letting those shoulders soften. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then on the next inhale, we're gonna reach our right hand out. So making sure that it's in line with our shoulder. And then we're gonna gently rotate onto that right hip. And then taking that left hand and crossing it over the right, making a little bit of a kickstand. And then from here, you can always take that left hand and just gently open up the posture, feeling it in that shoulder. Breathing into the sensations. Softening those areas with your breath. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you press into that left hand a little bit more, maybe opening up this posture. We'll take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly rotate back onto your stomach. And then opening the left arm into a T. Rotating onto that left hip. Taking your right foot and drawing it in front of your left, acting as a kickstand. And then maybe you press gently into that right hand. Breathing into that left shoulder. Noticing how this side feels. Are you a little bit more mobile in this side? Does it have less mobility? Allowing your breath to soften any sensations. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, gently press into that right hand. Maybe you open up, rolling onto that shoulder a little bit more. Take a few more breaths. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then slowly begin to roll out, coming back onto your stomach. Planting your hands underneath your shoulders, push up to tabletop, and press back to child's pose. Bending those elbows, rounding your spine, tucking your chin. And we'll take a few breaths here, letting that body settle, letting those shoulders soften. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly come back up into tabletop position. And our last shoulder exercise. So we'll inhale, open up that left side and thread the needle. So draw that left hand under the right, releasing that left shoulder onto the mat and your left cheek. The option to keep that right hand on the mat, or maybe you take it up and draw it to that left hip. Breathing into the sensations. Allowing that shoulder to settle a little bit more into the mat. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly pressing into that right hand, releasing out of this posture. Giving that left arm a little bit of a shake, just nice and gently. Then planting that left hand, opening up that right side. And then drawing that right hand underneath the left, releasing that right shoulder onto the mat, your right cheek. Option to take that left hand and draw that to the right hip, opening up this posture. Noticing how that right shoulder feels. Can you allow it to settle a little bit more into the mat? Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to press into that left hand. Releasing out of the posture, giving that right arm a little bit of a shake. And then the next posture, we're going to come into a saddle pose. So drawing your, bringing your knees together, opening your feet up, and then trying to sit between your feet. The option to always take a block and slide it under your glutes if it's a little bit too intense on the knees. And then from here, the option is to stay here onto your hands, or maybe you come down onto your forearms. Our target areas are quads, so the front of our legs. Breathing into the sensations. Noticing how your body feels. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, can you challenge your edge? Maybe you sink a little bit deeper onto those forearms. Or maybe you recline all the way back. Take a nice deep inhale. And a nice deep exhale. And then slowly begin to come out. So coming onto the hands. Walking up. And then kicking your feet to one side or another, nice and slow. Coming into a seated position. Putting those feet out in front of you. And coming into a nice forward fold. So inhale, reach your hands up. Then exhale, reach and fold. And you can release the toes so you can have those toes nice and pointed. Breathing into that low spine. And with every exhale, allowing your chest to draw closer to your legs. You can always have a slight bend in the knees if it's a little bit too intense on your hamstrings. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you fold a little bit more? Take a few more breaths here. Can you soften those shoulders a little bit more? Removing tension from your neck. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to walk those hands up. And then kicking your feet to one side or another. Coming back onto your knees. We're going to set up for frog pose. Everyone's favorite. So rolling that mat under. So just giving your knees a little bit more cushion. And then opening those knees up as wide as they can get. And trying to keep those heels in alignment with your knees. And then from here, maybe you come down onto your forearms. And take an inhale here. And exhale, can you send those hips back? Breathing into those hips, into the sensations that you might be feeling. Allowing your body to find rest. And keeping your breath nice and even, nice deep inhales. And exhales. On the next inhale, slowly begin to draw those hips forward, just releasing out for a moment. And then exhale, send those hips back. Maybe you go a little bit deeper. And the option to maybe put a block underneath your head to just let your forehead rest. Take a few more breaths here, allowing those hips to settle a little bit more. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then slowly draw those hips forward, coming onto the palms of the hands. And then gently walking those knees in, nice and slow. Opening up your mats and kicking your feet to one side or another. And then laying down all the way onto your back. And keeping your feet onto the mats. And we'll just take a few breaths here, allowing those hips to settle. And maybe while you're resting here, you just kind of windshield wiper the legs, so let the knees drop to the right, drop to the left. Release them to the right. One more time to the left. And then we'll come into supported bridge. So draw those heels as close to your glutes as possible, grabbing your block. And the option for the block is you can either have it this way, or maybe you can go the lengthwise, or maybe you have it flat, whatever feels comfortable. But take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. And then on the next inhale, send those hips up and slide that block underneath your tailbone. And adjusting it, whether you draw it closer up your spine or a little bit further down. And then allowing your palms to face up. Letting those hips settle into the block. Try to remove tension from your shoulders, tension from your neck. Letting your body find rest. Letting your mind find peace. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, can you allow those hips to settle a little bit more into that block? And taking note of your thoughts, acknowledging them, letting them continue to pass by. Draw your attention back to your breath, back to your inhales and your exhales. Letting your body settle a little bit more. Take one more inhale here. One more exhale. Then slowly draw those hips up, sliding the block up from underneath and letting those hips gently rest onto the mat. Take a deep inhale here. And a deep exhale, letting that body settle. Then from here, we'll make our way into plow position. So plow or waterfall. So if you're coming into plow, you'll draw your knees into your chest. And then gently draw your feet behind your head. Keeping your neck nice and straight. And if you're coming into waterfall, drawing those hips up, sliding that block underneath, and straightening those legs. So honoring your body this evening, or maybe you start out in plow, and then you end in waterfall, whatever feels comfortable this evening. Keeping your breath. Breathing into any sensations you might be feeling. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then if you're in plow, gently rolling vertebrae by vertebrae all the way out. And if you're in waterfall, gently shifting those hips up sliding that block out from underneath. And then drawing those knees into your chest, giving them a nice big hug. Gently rocking a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circling your knees in the opposite direction. Then releasing your feet onto the mats. Inhale, pick up your hips and shift them to the right side of the mats. Pick up that right foot, cross it over your left. Open your arms up into a T. And let that right knee drop down to the left side. Keeping your right shoulder blade pressed into the mats. Your gaze could fall over that right shoulder. And that left hand could always come up onto that right knee. But allowing your body to settle into this twist. Breathing into any sensations that you might be feeling. Letting your body find rest. Letting your mind find peace. We'll take a few more breaths here. Letting your body settle a little bit more. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly draw those knees back up to center. Release that right leg, square the hips. Then shift your hips to the left side of the mat. Pick up that left foot, cross it over your right. Open your arms up into a T and let that left knee drop down to the right side. Keeping your left shoulder blade pressed into the mat. Eyes to fall over that left shoulder. An option to take that right hand to that left knee. Letting your body find rest. Breathing into any sensations. Letting your breath soften those areas. Take a few more breaths here. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. Then slowly begin to release out. Releasing that left leg, squaring the hips. Draw your knees into your chest and open up to happy baby. Grab the outside of those feet. Open the knees nice and wide. Gently rock a little bit forward and backwards. A little bit of side to side. Bending one knee, straightening the other. Maybe repeating that on the other side. Then take a deep inhale together. And exhale, open up to Shavasana. Legs as wide as the mat. Palms to face up. Letting your body melt into the mat. Taking this opportunity to let go. Letting your body settle down into that mat. Letting your mind calm. Taking a few moments to scan over your body. Notice if you're carrying any tension anywhere. Allowing those areas to soften with your breath. Letting your body relax a little bit more. And notice if your mind has wandered or maybe drifted off. Just drawing your attention back to your breath. Back to your inhales. And your exhales. Letting your body find a little bit more rest. Letting your mind find a little bit more peace. Letting yourself just be. Resting in the stillness. And as you find rest, letting your practice from this evening sink deep into your body and into your mind. The benefits from all the postures, letting them sink deep into your muscles and into your memory. On the next inhale, gently begin to wiggle your fingers. Move the toes. Slowly waking up your body. Drawing your attention back to the room. And on the next inhale, slowly reaching those arms up and overhead. Then taking one wrist and gently pulling it to one side of the room, feeling the stretch in that side body. Then release that wrist, grab the other wrist, gently pull it to the opposite side. Gently release that wrist, reach your hands to the very back of the room and your feet to the very front. Take a full body stretch on that next inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Then slowly drawing that right knee into your chest, giving it a nice big hug. Showing it some love. Gently adding a little bit of movement back. Then release your right leg, draw in that left knee. Giving it a nice big hug. Gently adding some movement back. Draw that right knee back into your chest. Give them both a big squeeze. Gently rock a little bit of side to side. A little bit of forward and backwards. Circling your knees in one direction. Circling your knees in the opposite direction. Then let your knees sway from the left to the right. Gently letting your knees fall to the right side or to the left side, coming into fetal position. Offering breaths of gratitude. Grateful for your practice this evening. Grateful to our bodies. Grateful for this gorgeous weather we're having. Take a few moments to reflect on the intention you set at the beginning of practice. Take a deep inhale together and a deep exhale. Then slowly begin to press your way up to a seated position, keeping your eyes closed and drawing your hands to heart center when you arrive. Take a deep inhale together and a deep exhale. And on the next inhale, draw a gentle smile to your face. Exhale it all out. Take a few moments to thank your body for all the hard work it did today. I thank you and I'm humbled by your practice. Namaste. Thank you very much, guys. How was that?
Good. That was really good.
Yeah, good.
Fell asleep.
How? Good?
Josh fell asleep.
I love falling asleep during Savasana.
Oh,
So-
good.
I was drifting too.
Yeah. Oh, it was so nice. Yeah, it was good practice. It felt really like peaceful and relaxing.
I really, really enjoy those long holds.
Yeah, I tried to hold him a little bit longer today, so just to like let our bodies settle.
Oh, sure. I
Good.
love it. Hello.
He's ready for sleep. Just give him a blanket and cover him. He'll be fine.
When you go, when you go, when you go, and then when you finally stop, it's like you hit a wall.
Yeah, well, and especially with this practice too, it's so nice because it's like more meditative, right? Like you're in the posture and you're like trying to feel your body and like trying to let everything kind of relax, and it just kind of gets you into that place of like rest.
When you meditate, you meditate silently.
It depends. Like if it's in the morning and I just want to do a quick 5-minute one, it's usually normally I'll have a cup of coffee with me actually, and I'll just close my eyes and just kind of let my body, like what I'm feeling, like how my body feels, and like if I have tension or something. And then some days I do it with music, like I'll just do it with like instrumental and just kind of let my body just kind of rest and like notice my thoughts, right? Like that's the thing. It's like if your mind keeps racing, you just come back to your breath and breathe in and breathe out. So
the breathing is your anchor in a way.
yeah, and sometimes like some people I know, like they have a certain song, like a song that they have, and it gets them into that state right away. So it's just like as soon as they hear it, it's like they can just kind of like shut everything off and just be in that moment. So, but some people, they just have to train their mind to just not wander because their brains just always are thinking. So
Yeah, that's something I need to concentrate on because it's so easy for my mind to wander. I'm always trying to solve problems. So anytime I'm stopped or anytime I'm lying down, I'm always thinking and solving. Or even when I'm driving, I'm thinking and solving, thinking and solving, thinking and solving.
yeah, and that's just like just recognizing that when you're in the moment, like just trying to be like, okay, I acknowledge that, and then you just kind of like let it go, and then like you come back to your breath, right? And like if that thought, another thought comes up, you just acknowledge it, you kind of let it go. It's just like training a muscle, right? Like you're just trying to like always draw that attention just to that focus of like your breath. And so
Like,
I haven't tried.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
I find that he doesn't breathe, like, you know, when you say breathe in, breathe out, I find that really helps me. And then I don't think he does that. But the breathing really, really helps.
I'm probably about 50% of the time I do the breathing. Most of the other time I'm just working on the pose or my mind wanders or whatever. But yeah, breathing, I think you're right. It's a good anchor.
yeah, and like the box breathing is really good because it just focuses you on like you're inhaling for like a straight number, like let's say 3, and then you hold for 3, and then you exhale for 3, and then you hold for 3, and just having that concentration where you have to like remember to inhale and remember to hold and remember to exhale and remember to hold. It kind of like gets you out of thinking because you're just having to concentrate on that square, right? So try that. That's another option. Or just inhale, or always have your exhale longer than your inhale. So if you're inhaling for 3, you want to exhale for like 6 so that it like just allows that body to settle. So it grounds you a bit more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something definitely I need to focus on for sure.
Yeah, it takes practice. But yeah, are you guys enjoying the sun, the heat?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's hard to run in, but it's nice to walk in.
Yeah. I know you have to run in the morning, right? Like before 10.
Later on at night.
Yeah. Well, have a good night, guys, and I'll see you guys on Saturday.
Yeah. So Saturday and then Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you write Marilyn back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, just the way that we spoke, I said, after CX2 is going to be too sweaty. So the best thing would be to do it either after the other evening class or yoga. And I said, after yoga is the best because that's when everyone's relaxed, everyone's already connected and so on. And, it's easier for me to do. I know I'm going to go to yoga. I may not necessarily do any of the other classes. So it's easier when you're already connected to, like I said, just go grab your glass of wine and chit chat or whatever. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would work the best.
Yeah, we need to do it with our little group too.
Let's do it again.
Well, maybe
It almost-
maybe next Thursday or something, we can see if we can do a happy hour after yoga.
Like not that I want to schedule it, but I think we should almost make a point and say, let's do it at least once a month or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be nice.
Then we don't forget to do it because if life gets busy, where everyone always seems to be in a hurry and then you got to sign off and go. But if we know, okay, we need to set aside time after yoga, and then we'll all do it because it's so it's a very weird scenario that only one person in the group of four can speak at once because you don't get all the parallel conversations that you do with traditional conversational.
Yeah.
But it's a neat thing, and I find with me it gives me an opportunity to focus on listening. So, which is different.
Yeah, the challenge is to listen, to really listen, because you can't all talk at the same time, right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, maybe mention something in the chat about a happy hour for next week or something like that, and yeah, because like I said, it's like we're missing all of the stuff that we used to do just because of COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good to relax.
Yeah, it'd be nice to do that.
Okay, well, it was a pleasure as always.
Thank you.
No worries. Have a great evening, and I'll see you guys Saturday.
Okay, talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.